Do you teach your team the same things? Do you is this something, because it seems like it's had quite a profound impact on you? You were talking about candidates and all of the different
Mm.
people in the recruiting space that you can interact with. Is this something that you taught internally to your own teams, to your own people?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that because we spent the last 18 months within my company overhauling our culture to be a conscious connector culture. And so I
Yeah.
did take a lot of what I was learning and bring it back to my team. But it's interesting how I implemented this. And so the first thing that we did is I read this book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. And that laid the
Hmm.
foundation for me to begin a deeper level of practice within those commitments. We decided to buy the book for everyone on our team. And then we highlighted one of the
Yes.
commitments every month for at our all hands. And then we talked about those commitments, and we would spend an all hands talking about one commitment per month and how our team's behaviors would show up in support of the principle, let's say. We also mailed the book to all of our clients. And we were not working with conscious companies. We were working with a lot of different companies, a lot of tech companies. Some people may have read the book because it was kind of like us saying, this is a foundation of how we work and how we best show up to support you and partner with your company. And some of the companies didn't read anything, which is very apparent, and that's fine. So for us, and for me, it was about planting these seeds of consciousness and then creating invitations and opportunities for my team to see what felt good for them. Not everybody was into the 15 commitments, number one. Not everybody wanted to hear about my revelations and things that I was learning and the wisdom that I was bringing back to the team, but I would share with them.
No.
And initially, I think I probably was very excited and preachy, like sharing everything and so, awakened and all of that. My posture on what I was learning evolved to showing the team and giving them opportunities to experience what I had gone through coaching, through retreats, through breath work, through meditation, through all different modalities I was using. And then letting them enroll themselves. Like I was not preaching anymore to convert. I was talking about
No.
and embodying an energy that created invitations for people to decide what was for them and what was not for them. And I will say at the time last year, we had over 100 people on our team. Probably 65% were aligned with that, and then the rest were not. My goal was to really have, I would love to have had 100% of my organization fully on board with conscious leadership principles and their own inner work and healing and becoming fully formed, emotionally intelligent adults at work. That was my dream.
Yeah.
But, it's not always what you'll see. I will say, as we rebuild my company, because we're much smaller now, I have basically a skeleton team at the moment.
Yeah.
My short list is very short. I have maybe 30 people that I would want to bring back on the team that are fully aligned, aspiring, emerging conscious leaders who align with the values and who get our principles and want to show up in the world in a different way.
Do you think if that reconstruction of your company has not happened, that there would have been space for those 40% that was not into that? Or do you think that guidance on on where you wanted to go with the conscious leadership would basically have created, let's put it, a natural selection, not in the essence of
Mm-hmm.
saying you would walk out as the managers just
Yeah.
firing people, but more a matter
Yeah.
of saying, people would naturally come to the conclusion that this is probably not the best place for me anymore because
Mm-hmm.
I'm misaligned with the culture that this
Yep.
company is having now.
Yeah, fully. I fully believe that was on its way of happening. Um, and I'm really happy that it all happened the way that it did because now it's given me a lot of perspective and spaciousness to really rethink how I go about building a new organization and bringing this work out to other companies. I'm very, very passionate about redefining company culture from a place of consciousness and understanding how doing that level of work and having a strong level of enrollment from your team creates more opportunities for growth, personal and professional growth, but also revenue growth and impact in the customers and clients that you serve. And so all of it works together. And I have the case study, like I lived it. So it was really, while it was challenging during the time, it's just been such a beautiful learning experience to think about. And I do agree, people would just self-select out. They don't want to do it. And that's okay, because choosing to be a conscious leader and live in a conscious place, even as a parent, choosing to be a conscious parent, choosing to be a conscious partner, like it is a dedication, it's a commitment, it's a devotion, and it's not easy. I always joke and say, like, that's why it's called inner work. It's not called inner party, because like this shit is hard. It's like, it's not a walk in the park. You have this like love-hate relationship. Sometimes it feels easier to just be in your low vibe
like doing
life.
yoga, right? It's like,
right.
It's good for me, but it sucks.
Right. Or, all the things. So I feel like it's okay. I think before I was just this crusader mindset, and I would feel maybe like sad for the people who weren't into it. Like I really wanted them to like have the light bulb go off and join us on the journey. And now I'm in a place of like no judgment and full acceptance of everybody. And there's a term that Seth Godin uses a lot called sonder. And sonder is when you realize that every single human being that you see is on their own journey and has their own complicated, complex human experience that they're navigating. And that's that. And you just accept it. So I definitely have reframed those who don't want to be on this journey with me and just show up in light and love and non-judgment and, hope that wherever they end up, they're happy as well.
So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that now when you're building up again, that you would probably prefer, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, to actually build something that is, from a business and revenue standpoint, smaller, but more in line with what you want it to be, compared to having
100%.
something at. It's fascinating, right? Because it will probably be, it's the same on what we do with 24 slides is the core of what we do is a purpose, and a very strong purpose of what we're trying to do. And I have the same thing. I would much rather have it be smaller and not grow as fast and as, traditionally capitalistic successful, but then being super aligned with the purpose, because that's where my motivation lies. But I actually believe that because that is so pure, our ability to attract people who are really like deeply motivated by that translate into a team that is really motivated, really engaging, and therefore is performing at a higher level. So it becomes this weird circle back where I actually believe in the long term it will probably yield us a much more profitable, more successful business from a capitalist. Do you think that would happen for you too, that you might end up in some place in the future saying, because you have clarity of purpose, there's a lot of other things that will fall in line that will probably enable you to build something that's even more special, both from a purpose, but also from a profit standpoint?
Yeah, agree. Completely agree. It's like you read my mind. That's exactly how I feel. And that's exactly what I'm aiming to do. And I do believe that we can run a smaller, leaner team that's going to be more potent and definitely more high performing. And so I'm excited to see that unfold.